Hey guys, it's me, 80 Summer for 4. Today, guys, I want to talk to you guys about England and France of the Nations League. Where do we begin, man? Where do we begin? I suppose we should start with England first because they're in a really bad position. England have played 4 games in the Nations League and they're accumulated 2 points for 4 games. Points coming against Germany and against Italy. They didn't get anything against Hungary. They lost both games. Aggregate score being 5-0 on aggregate. And you know what the funny part is? Hungary was probably the easiest team that people expected. Hungary was going to probably be the whipping boys of this group. But not only have Hungary done it, Hungary are actually top of the group. Right now, guys, England are in a really bad position. Because right now, guys, England basically have to win the remaining 2 games. They have to travel away to San Siro. They have to beat Italy there. And then they play on the final match day, Germany at home. And not even just win, guys. Their goal difference is -5. I believe it's over. I don't think they can top this group anymore. I think mathematically there's still a technical chance because Hungary's on 7 points. So technically, mathematically speaking, I believe it's still possible. However, you can tell, guys, is that it's going to be very difficult because right now, guys, they just haven't been playing good. Defensively, they've just been a woeful at the back, and they haven't kept a single clean sheet in the Nations League so far. Actually, they did keep a clean sheet against Italy. But, you know, it's really disappointing to see what England's been doing because England have been very disappointed defensively. I think defensively they've been very shocking. Maguire, John Stones, and everything like that. And, you had Ramsdale play today, which I don't think he'll ever play again for England, at least in a competitive game. He might play maybe some friendlies. And for those people that are saying that Nations League means nothing, it's just friendly games and everything like that, it means something, guys. There are 2 things we got to take into account. First of all, number one, that this affects your FIFA rankings. Okay, this actually affects your FIFA rankings, and that if you do very, very bad, you could drop down the rankings. Because remember, guys, coming into this draw, I believe England were 3rd or 4th in the world. So, because England could have been in pot 2, right? And so there's a possibility of that. And also, it also affects your Euro qualifiers, your pots for the Euro qualifiers. And so another thing, it also affects your Nations League ranking for the next season because this is going to be determined because England finished 3rd in their last Nations League group. Remember, Belgium ended up topping. I believe Denmark came 2nd, and I believe England came 3rd. So, England are going to have to be very careful here because right now, guys, England are really staring the barrel here. And England haven't even scored an open play goal in the Nations League so far. The only goal they've scored was from Harry Kane, which was a penalty against Germany on the road. And imagine they didn't score that goal, guys. It would have been really bad. And I don't know what's going on wrong with England, man. They've just been really awful. And this is why I think about England is that this is what I never really understood is that I'm supposed to believe they're one of the favorites for the World Cup. But they aren't. They have a good team. But for me, Southgate is just not the guy, man. I just don't think Southgate is the guy that can lead England forward. And for me, he's way too defensive. And, I just don't really feel like England can be taken seriously. And for a nation that's only won one major trophy in their history, it's crazy to see how arrogant they are. It really is. And so for England in particular, guys, perhaps this is a good wake-up call. Perhaps they needed this wake-up call before the World Cup. Because the World Cup, like I said, guys, will take place in November. And they must be very lucky that the World Cup is not taking place right now. Because had it been taking place in June, it could have been really peak. It could have been very much peak for them. And so, like I said, guys, they have plenty of time. The Nations League games are coming up around September. And so by that time, with, some holiday breaks and everything like that, they'll be able to fully recover and fully be able to bounce back. Because, like I said, guys, England still can rectify this campaign. They could still survive, guys. They could still survive. And it's going to be very difficult, guys. It's going to be very difficult indeed. We'll have to wait and see what happens because, like I said, guys, they have to win one of the remaining games. They have to win one of the remaining games. They might even have to win both at this rate. Because 6 points may not even be enough for survival. And 5 is going to be, if they get 5 or below, I think it's 4 or less, it's pretty much done, I'd say. So, it's going to be very difficult for England, guys. Very, very difficult indeed. And, yeah, man, that's really it for that. Now, they're not the only big nation that's been struggling. There's another nation that's also been struggling in the Nations League, and that is, of course, the France national team. Where do we start with here? I think France have also been in a pretty much similar position to England. maybe a little less bad just because their goal difference is not as bad as England's because England's at -5, I believe. France, on the other hand, their goal difference, I believe, is -2. Let me go just double check that real quick for you guys. So, yeah, France is a -2 goal difference. Let's look at France's remaining games. France have the next game they have is against Austria at home. They have to win that game at home. Then they have Denmark away. So, assuming that they beat both teams, which I think they're very capable of doing at their very best, it's going to be very difficult, guys. It's going to be very difficult because right now, guys, they cannot top the group anymore. They cannot defend their title anymore. So right now they have to basically start winning these games because right now, guys, France have just been dreadful, guys. Defensively, they've just been woeful at the back. You know, they've been conceding goals in every single game. And I think the defense of France has been very, very shocking, to say the least, you know. And they haven't even picked up a good result at home. You know, all the points they've accumulated has been on the road. So, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see how France do because, like I said, guys, France have just been defensively just not been good, you know. I'm looking at players like Konate that's been playing, Kunde as well, Lucas Digne as well, you know. And I think France have to start using their big guys, you know. And, you know, you have to give credit to Croatia because they actually picked up a huge away win in France, and Luka Modric scored the penalty. So, you know, for France, as I said, guys, I personally think France is in a better position to survive because I feel like their games are far easier to England's, and I feel like France should be able to beat Austria. And right now, Austria, how many points are they on? They're on 4 points. So they have to beat Austria. They'll be on 5 points, and that could be enough for them. Let me see Austria's remaining games. So Austria, they have Croatia in the final match day. That's gonna be interesting because Croatia been good, guys. Croatia's been good. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, man. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with France. Now, other Nations League stuff. There's been a lot of Nations League going on. Obviously, you know, Netherlands have been amazing, guys. Switzerland am kind of dreadful. You know, just gonna give quick thoughts of other stuff real quick. B Nations League B, we got some crazy stuff here, guys. Let's go look at the table. Here we go. Here we go. Ukraine's top of the group as we expect, although Ukraine have a game in hand. Israel, Bosnia, Romania, Norway. Norway have been incredible, guys. Norway have been amazing. Slovenia, and then League C. Turkey's been good. Greece has already got promotion. Kazakhstan been incredible. And then Georgia as well. And then finally League D, the last Nations League. Latvia's been good. I think they've secured. No, they haven't secured promotion just yet. I think they need one more point for Latvia, and then Estonia, Malta have been good. So as I said, guys, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens because League A, man, it's looking really interesting, guys, with England and France group in particular because these two nations, man, both of them could get relegated. I personally think what's gonna happen is this. I think France will survive. I don't think France are going down. I think England might get relegated, guys. I think England could get relegated just because the goal difference is really bad. I don't believe they'll be able to score 6 in any of those two games. You know, so we'll see though because they could maybe batter Italy because Italy did just lose 5-2 to Germany. So, but Italy are at home though, so that's the thing. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll have to wait and see what happens. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, guys. Comment down below your thoughts and comment section below of these two nations. Do you think either of them will get relegated or neither will get relegated? Comment down below your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're not already. Like the video, enjoy, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.